Hey you guys, I'm in one of my favorite trees here sitting. That was the one video I did with the snake was right there. It scared the shit out of me. But we're laying in the tree. I love this tree because it's, when you're done, you can actually slide down. It's like a nice little slide. You can slide down. And so we're on the tree here. I'm going to try to do the best shot inside. It's kind of hard. So I hope that I hope it, we'll see how it goes on the video replay. But geez, I just colored my roots anyway. I don't care. I literally just been sitting here, not able to move. I can move obviously, but just it's just a lot, like I look at every page in my book and every chapter in my book, and it's like a fucking movie, a series, and each chapter I never have had time to process it. You just go from, you just live, you just go from one thing to another, and I try to manage my feelings and emotions, around the cats, because they're hyper aware of it, and so I haven't really been able to release and just be like, God damn. And I'm so grateful. I was having a conversation with a woman that's let me stay with her temporarily. I was sharing with her my experiences recently, before coming back to the city. And, not really the hotels, but right before I had to go to the hotels, and the woman's house that I was staying with, where I had that job. And she said, oh my God, you passed one of the biggest tests. And I never even realized how big of a test it was. Multiple tests, but there was a place that I stopped in between, and after I was there one night, I was like, there ain't no fucking way. Like, it's no judgment, but I know me, and I know my walk, and I know my past, and I can't, and I won't, and I refuse to go back to old things, old patterns, old situations. And I didn't have a plan after that night. I literally packed the cats and I back up in the car and left, and that's when I started staying at hotels. And I never even had a chance to process it. And so the other night when her and I were talking, she said, do you realize how big of a test that was? And I said, you know what, strangely enough, I haven't had time to process anything. Because it's always one thing to the next, And I pass these, it's like I'm sitting here talking to the trees, and I'm talking to Mother Nature, I'm talking to the divine. And I'm like, I'm passing every test. So I shouldn't say what's the payoff, but it's like something has to give. I'm not angry. I'm not giving up. I'm not, it's just, you get to those points where you're like, I know there's a greater good. I know there's a higher purpose. I know what I'm meant to do. I know who I am. I know all these things. And so what? Not like so what, but like, and I know the opposing forces. I know the energies go against me. I know all the things that have been set up to set me up to fail from day one. I see them clearly now. I'm very aware of it. And it doesn't change the fact that its goal is to limit me. It's not limiting me. And so I'm just kind of releasing just everything. It's just like finally just letting all that shit go. Because I'm a fighter. And that's why I'm back. I don't have any fear. I don't have any doubts or reservations. I'm not worried about any of those things. Those scare tactics no longer work on me. And if you know, you know. If you're watching any of my stories or any of my videos, you already know what I'm talking about. So I'm not going to like rehash it to bring up that energy again. But it's been even I was literally shocked a few times that, oh my God, I didn't die. You know, I was even surprised a few times that things were supposed to take me out, and the illusions and the things placed upon me and all the false narratives and all the horrible things that have been said about me that couldn't be furthest from the truth. And then there's the pain of people not even coming to you and asking you or talking to you about anything, just willy-nilly and blindly believing what people say about you. And it, even though I'm past that pain and frustration and betrayal, it hasn't hardened my heart. It's helped me tone in more on my gifts and to use discernment a lot better, to not share things with people, not to let people back into my life, period. Especially if you're attached to the people who have contributed to my trauma and from my trying to create demise in my life, trying to create these barriers in my life. And so, even though I've said this before, if you wonder why I'm attached, why I don't respond to you, why I don't engage in conversations, or I don't want to be part of anything, it's because you're attached to these motherfuckers. You're attached to these people who've done me dirty. So I'm no longer in alignment with people who play both sides of the field. So that's why you kind of get the cold shoulder. It doesn't need to be said. You already know. And so I'm just like kind of releasing all that stuff, because that's an old way it's just my old life. And it's just, I don't know. I know I'm going all over the place. It's just a lot to process. Because in my soul and my heart, all I want is peace and honest and authentic connections with people who have been doing their healing work, who don't project, and who don't, do all the things that, people do who are unhealed when they view us from unhealed lenses, and they get offended by everything you say instead of internalizing it and healing. And, like, I am no longer in those type of connections. I don't care. I've spent the last couple years by myself, not because I have fear, but because I like my own company, and I'm not going to use my energy just sitting there when people are bullshitting me. You know what I'm saying? My gifts are too strong. There's nothing that can stop it. And so because it's still the full moon, I'm just releasing all of it. I'm talking about it. I'm telling the trees. I'm telling you about it. And through my process, hopefully other people can also maybe use a few of the things for their process, and to move through things, and to know that it does get better, even in the darkest days, even if you have no one to count on, even if there's no one to talk to, even if whatever it is, that it's all designed that way. There's a lesson in it for us. There's a lesson in the quiet. There's a lesson in the stillness. There's a lesson in not having the wrong people around you. I'd rather be alone than have the wrong people around me. You know what I'm saying? So the lesson here, as I learn these lessons, I share them, and hopefully other people can learn. Just to be like the water. When the water's still, let it be still. When the water needs to flow, let it flow. When you come to a little, not stand still, but when you kind of get redirected, when the water gets redirected, allow it to happen. It's so much easier said than done. That's why I'm a big fan. We're going to slide down the tree, okay? That's why I'm a big fan. Being outside in nature, because we can pull the energy from above and release it through our feet into the ground. Mother Earth always makes everything great again. Always makes things great again. That's the beauty of her. So we're going to keep our walk going here. And I hope you're healthy and happy, full of joy. I appreciate you giving me space and allowing me to share and process and just move through things. Is what we do best, is move through it, right? We just go right through the motherfucking fire.